Hello. I want to talk to you today about my thoughts and observations on something that preoccupies me far too much. Something that I feel frequently impacts on how I feel about and interact with other people. As you all know, I love to read, and I find myself often reflecting on how literary characters' physical appearance are used to display their power or their lack of it. Some of our greatest authors use physical attributes as a literary analogy to represent power or lack of it. Shakespeare, Chaucer, the Bible, Dickens, right up to more modern times with authors such as Bram Stoker, T.S. Eliot and Zadie Smith have a common theme within their greatest works which is central to the character's power, as well as being representative of other qualities too. So what is this common theme, I hear you ponder? The title of today's inaugural lecture for the International League of Scary Women's Lecture Series 2020 is teeth. Let's start with the obvious. Bram Stoker. Teeth are fundamental to Dracula's appearance and feature as the taker of lives, as which Dracula drains the life from his victims, and therefore teeth are the medium by which they pass into the realms of the undead. Teeth, in actuality, are important in the life cycle, as they are the gateway to the digestive system on which we depend for nutrition and a healthy life. As a baby, we're powerless and dependent on our mother's milk up to about 6 months of age, when generally the first teeth appear. With the eruption of those first 30 baby teeth, so comes the independence of eating solid food and the ability to thrive independently. So teeth in literature are often used to represent life and death, not only in the classic Dracula, but also in the Anglo-Saxon Beowulf, dating back to somewhere between 700 to 1000 AD, I think. And the monster Grendel, his great teeth came together, snapping life shut. This signals that his teeth are the most powerful weapon available to the monster, literally and figuratively, the giver and taker of lives. Teeth also represent savagery in Shakespeare's Richard III, who was, according to Shakespeare, not only an ugly hunchback that rose to power with Machiavellian intentions, but from his very beginnings was born with teeth, providing us with a foreshadow of his evil deeds. And as how King Henry says about him in the play, "Teeth thou hast in thy head when thou wast born, to signify how thou camest to bite the world." Again, Shakespeare uses teeth as an analogy in which Richard's power is seen by all around him from the very first moment he was born. Teeth also feature in many common idioms that we use today. Think about biting the bullet, being armed to the teeth, biting the dust, and fighting tooth and nail, which also serve to draw comparisons between how we use teeth for seizing power or the taking of life. However, not all literary teeth represent power. Chaucer, in his Canterbury Tales, his wife of Bath is described as gap-toothed, to which his medieval audiences understood this to represent sexuality and a lusty nature. Chaucer goes into great detail about her physical appearance. Indeed, she's one of the most thorough descriptions of women from this time, and one from which we can gain insight into the role and nature of medieval women. Her teeth are of literary importance and a parallel of her very nature. The wife of Bath conveys the imbalance of power between men and women in these times, as well as the double standards between men and women. In short, Chaucer argues that women are morally identical to men. Her gap teeth may represent her sexuality to Chaucer's audience, but we're rooting for her, so perhaps should consider Chaucer as being an early feminist, as he uses her teeth to illustrate her right and enthusiasm for a lusty, satisfying sex life. We can see that teeth continue today to represent enthusiasm in broader terms, with idioms such as sinking your teeth into something or chomping at the bit. Okay, so the Bible biblical terms, teeth represents truth. I have given you emptiness of teeth in all your cities. Amos chapter 4 verse 6. And to break the teeth of the wicked, Psalms chapter 3 verse 7, means to break or destroy lies and falsehoods. In other spiritual terms, the early Hindus and Buddhists recognize the flow of power through the body through various points or chakras, a sort of psycho-spiritual vortex on which life depends. Teeth are linked to the throat chakra, which also represents truth and the need to speak your mind, as well as your creative side. Teeth grinding, tooth decay, and other dental problems indicate a suppressed creative need, and problems with your throat chakra can, of course, be resolved by not biting off more than you can chew or doing anything that sets your teeth on edge. So, to sum up, teeth are of literary, linguistic, and spiritual importance, and perhaps I may be forgiven and you no longer think I'm shallow for once dumping a perfectly good boyfriend because I didn't like his teeth.